Welcome, welcome, welcome to Liverpool 12th Man Show. Hopefully you got the notification to join us today. I know that there's a lot of people out there getting ready for this Monday night game. It'll be the last game of the weekend. We'll probably, kind of roll into that game as well while we're online and live. So it'll be kind of cool to do. Kind of talk a little bit while that plays in the background, but all the same, we're going to talk about Liverpool news. We're going to talk about the game yesterday. We're also going to talk about some toxic takes, things that I was saying. A lot of people were on tilt yesterday, despite us winning. A lot of people were on tilt yesterday. It was kind of interesting because, who knew that we won? Apparently, because it didn't necessarily seem that by some of the takes, by some of the content, some of the bigger platforms out there with some of the content creators and some of the guests that they had on, you would have thought that we have lost. But we are 1-0, got 3 points, and we are live and direct in the Liverbird today. And I brought with me today the Irishman, the one and only, the Irishman. How are you doing today, Brian?
Yeah, very well, very well. Some sewer dwellers in coming out with woodwork yesterday. Yeah,
Yeah.
some real fine pieces of work out there.
Say the least, say the least. Oh man. But big up to John Conway. Always
Hey, John.
correct. Yes, definitely, definitely. Great. Proper red. Always supports and is like lovely guy, lovely guy. Appreciate you, John. And appreciate all of you guys and ladies as well that are joining us. I hope that you are having a great Monday. Again, I know it's was it a seven? It's 7-11. That's a good number. So all right. So we are live and direct, and we wanted to talk about a couple of different things today. I know that there's some things that have been on the Irishman's mind, most notably some of the things going on with Gomez. Um, we also have some news apparently about the Brentwaite news as well. It was kind of interesting. You've seen some of that stuff go on with the Jared Brentwaite stuff. Were you surprised to see the name pop up the way it did? As being
Oh
like,
yeah,
I mean, it's
oh
like
yeah.
two in the odds. And this is something I wanted to say. Like, as in, I know it's haram for some people. Um, for others, they might wager. They might put wagers on things here and there. But whichever side of the coin that you handle, um, what's unique about what's unique about the betting is that odds are affected by the way people bet, the way they put their money on the bets, on the wagers. So, despite the fact that it might not like the bookie puts a number that he thinks the odds are at, and then it's adjusted by who's putting money on those odds. And right now, currently, it's a 2-1 odds that the young Everton center back or center half would be making a move to Liverpool. Now, I think that's heavily weighted on people putting money on that actually happening. But yeah, I just don't. It's an interesting set of circumstances that we would think that we would be going in for a player that when he was offered to, or when Manchester United went to go try to his get him to come to Manchester, they said 70 million pounds, and then we'll talk. Are we thinking that we would spend 70 million pounds on this center half, as talented as he is, as much as we've already watched him play before, before he even moved to Everton? We were apparently monitoring his path. It's not happening. I just don't think it's happening. What are your thoughts, Irishman?
Well, they ain't Nicky Barmby, um, the other guy. I mean, it's hen's teeth. A transfer between the two clubs. But I mean, a lot of this is going back to you'd also be taking a player from a competitor. Um, Xavier, yeah,
Right.
yeah. you know, it wouldn't want to give us one of their best players because they were actually competing with us. That's not really the case anymore. So that barrier is gone. I think it's probably not as to stick with the team at night. I don't think it's as toxic a transfer as it used to be, but it's still a difficult one. But I think if we were to come in, I think we'd be quoted the same price as Manchester United because they have got one of these kind of gems there now that with their financial situation, they're going to be trying to get the top money for anybody that they're going to sell. They're going to try and maximize it to get themselves out of the hot water they might be in. So you'd be asking astronomical money for just a young, very good young English centre half, but we have a very good young English centre half. So I don't really know if he's the upgrade, but it's really just something that I don't. Can anybody see that happening? Like you never say never in football, but it's all the things point away from
right.
it.
You don't definitely. I agree with that. Brian, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I finished talking a while ago. I was waiting for you to start talking. I just thought you were on a delay.
Maybe that was me lagging a little bit or something. I'll make sure that I don't have any windows. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just brought in Lee as well. Lee's okay. No worries. Okay. Brought in Lee with us as well. Lee, how are you doing today? Getting settled. Good. We were just talking about the possibilities of the young Everton center back joining us. Again, I know that it's most likely it doesn't happen because it's a rarity that you see transfers between the two sides of Everton and Liverpool. But just as Brian said, you don't want to you want to do the James Bond, never say never, and it with I guess I don't want to completely transition into the Gomez talk, but I mean with the possibility of Gomez leaving, with the possibility of Gomez giving us obviously a nice bit of change to come in for a transfer of a Gomez's level, do we maybe just flip that money and go right in for a player like Jared, or do we think this is going to happen? That's basically the question.
Brandwaite, yeah, he's an all right player, but it would be a tough one. Like I'm sure Everton would go out of their way to make it awkward for us to sign him. But he's left-footed. That's an improvement that we've been linked with a left footer. I would prefer another left footer if I'm honest. Like I still prefer us to buy someone from abroad if possible, rather than Jared Brandwaite. I'm sure Jared Brandwaite's got a full season's experience behind him. It's not that much, is it? Quanta's got that as well.
That's what's like these days, isn't it? An English lad gets 5 good games, 6 good games. Next thing you know, he's worth 30 million. He gets one game for England. He's worth 60 million. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, that is also. I'll bring that up then too. Okay, real quick. That is also possibly we can transition a little bit into this Gomez talk. That is a possible. Apparently, the Newcastle talks for the Crystal Palace center half have broken down, and it's not assured that they'll be able to bring him in. And now that's another name that has popped up as being maybe a player that Liverpool goes in for, especially if we are going to part ways with Gomez. Do you think that is something more? But bring that up though, because it's still on the lines. It's still about the same price tag for both players. Like they're still around the same amount of money. would you think that that's something you would think that we would do sooner, or is that something that interests you more, or is that something that is just another like, that's all well and good, that's all great paper talk, but other than that, it's probably just a lot of rumors. Irishman, what do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think in terms of price for Gomez, yeah,
Mhm.
look, you've got, I know, like with Brandwaite, you've got, oh, well, you know, he could be yours for 10 years. I mean, the people, like, we ain't buying the guy. No chance. Absolutely no chance.
Mhm.
You know, we can lay it out there and see how it would work. But if you ask me, yeah, immediate reaction is just no, ain't happening. Um, so if it's like with someone like Gomez, he just comes in a different, he comes in a different area. I think 40 million, 45 million.
Mhm.
But that's what, yeah, I think there's two or three clubs out there that'd be good enough for him to go to, and he would improve. So if it's going to happen, I think when you leave someone out of a squad and they say that they're happy to move if your price is met, like this is all out in public, so you can imagine how far down the line it might be behind the scenes.
Mhm.
Um, so I think it is something that probably happens sooner rather than later. Yeah, and I'd rather get it done with if it is going to happen.
How about for you, Lee? Is that something that is that something that you would want to pursue in the sense of saying that you'd be willing to put up a 60 million or 70 million tag for Gahey or Brantwaite, excuse me? Um, you would want to, is that the direction? Because again, I'm asking that because I know, you everyone already knows my love and also Brian's love in the idea of bringing in a Bastoni, for
Yeah.
instance, and we could probably bring him in for around the same number
Oh yeah.
as what we're talking about for these two young and very talented center backs. I get it; they are English, they're homegrown, the whole nine, premier proven, quote unquote. But is that the direction you go? What would you do?
No.
What would you do, Lee?
No, I prefer to buy somebody from a foreign league, like who's more experienced and is more of a name, like, you know what I mean? Actually, the name isn't important. Do you know what I'm saying, though? Like Bastoni or Inacio. I'd rather have them than Brandt, right? You know what I mean? I'd rather gamble on trying to make Inacio or Bastoni
Mhm.
fit in to the Premier League or whatever than gamble on. Well, it wouldn't be that, but yeah, it would still be a gamble, I suppose. Gamble on Branthwaite, you know what I mean? He's just not that experienced. Like, I don't want us to, but I've been saying it for ages. I didn't want Yoro for the same reason because he's a kid. I don't want a
Right,
teenage. I
right,
want us to buy a
right.
Yeah.
teenage centre half like Brandt. Well, I don't know how old's Branthwaite. He's about 21.
I think he's about 23. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't want a young, new centre half. Do you know what I mean? Someone who's just come out of far end
No.
ago. You know,
No, bring in
that's
someone
Can
with the
I
with,
ask
with the
Brian?
pedigree.
Can I ask you this? I'll ask both of you the same question, but I'll ask this. And you guys are in the chat. I love the fact that you're including your comments. We're watching and then keeping an eye on them too. Continue to do
22. Yeah.
so, please. But they're saying he's 22. Dara and Rev Knight said he's 22. Do you think it's a concern though that if we do bring in, like if we were to bring in a young player, that's one thing. That's not necessarily going to stand in the way of a Kanate, certainly, but it's definitely not. It's just going to be someone that you'd have to Kwanzaa would have to compete with. But would you see it as a? Are you looking at if we were to bring in a Bastoni, for instance, hypothetically, is that more of a VVD replacement, or is that more of a possible partner that is going to once again possibly stand in the progression of, and why not progression? I mean like being a first teamer, Kanate and Kwanzaa.
yeah, if we bothered our arse to
You
buy
can answer that
somebody
one.
for a big fee, then surely we'd be expecting him to be part of the first 11, to be Virgil's partner, and then eventually Virgil himself will retire and the person will partner somebody else. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Mhm.
Uh, That's what I'd be looking at them coming in to do, to partner Virgil, not to replace him.
Okay.
Replace him eventually, like, or
How about for
initially.
you? How about for you for Irishman? How about for
Yeah,
you?
exactly the same. Exactly the same. Bring him in 2 years maybe with a Bastone and a VVD. You know, two top, and that's not gonna. That's not gonna end Kwanzaa's career. It's not gonna end.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So again, like Lee says,
I just
he'll
don't want to
get
see him. I just don't want to see him on the bench
no.
with
Oh
with
yeah,
the
yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you.
with the face he was showing on against Ipswich.
No. But he's got to. I mean, if we bring in a Bastone, maybe he can. That's just life at a football club, I suppose. But you just bring him in, and then you have four. You're gonna need four. He's one of the four. Plenty of games out there, and yeah, like Lee says, then in 2 years' time, you're looking at the guy that you brought in now being kind of established completely in the team, your big name guy, and then Kwanzaa comes in, or Ibu may have been sold by then, or whatever it might be. So someone else might be in the pool, in the talent pool at that stage. But yeah, there'll be plenty of time. But it is both. Like it's to come in and partner now, and then to eventually become the senior main centre half. I think that's how I'd like to look at it anyway. Nice and future proofing and seamless and all that, but that's rarely goes that way. But you got to try.
Rev Knight's saying, but we really need two center backs because we're losing Matip, Sepp, and Nat, leaving us VVD, Ibu, and Kwanzaa. I don't know if we necessarily need two center halves, like as in that has to be the two priorities for us. But I mean, getting a center half would be a quality addition. But I mean, the three center backs you just named don't even play for us.
Well, if Sepp and Gomez, that Matip's gone. Nat may as well not exist. Right. But if Gomez and Sepp were to leave, then it only.
Well, he has Nat. That's the reason I was asking.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm reading it. I'm just saying, like, just say you had they left, right, and then God forbid, touch wood, Van Dijk is out for 3 months. Then very, very quickly you're looking at going,
you quickly have a problem.
Holy hell, we don't have many centre halves. Yeah. So it's touch wood, they all stay fit, but just having that one guy in there, especially Gomez, which it looks like it's going to happen. But
it does.
It's not going to weaken us. It's not going to impact us negatively if we brought in a really, really top. But hey, look, I mean, talk about all quiet on the Western Front. I haven't seen a peep anywhere, anything about us buying in that position.
Right. And
so I mean, not as if the rumors are out there.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of different players that we've been connected to. I mean, I also saw another connection to a midfielder. I saw us connected to a left back just recently. Some names that aren't even the names. If I were to bring them up, you'd be like, "Are you trolling me? Is that really a name?" Type names. Okay, that's how interesting some of these names are that are being thrown out there. I think the one player plays in it's one of the finger countries. It's I think it was like Sweden, I think, or something, or Switzerland. I'll bring it up here. Let me see if I can find it. Jens Heitor Dahl, a young midfielder, plays in Norway. Plays for Tromsø in Norway. I'm sure like not many of us follow the Norwegian league.
Hey, I know. Did I not tell you about my Norwegian club that I've always supported since I was a boy?
Oh, is it Tromsø?
No, I'm only joking.
I was just wondering. I was going to say, yeah, that'd be funny if it was.
Yeah, my dad went to Norway once, so that's why I support them.
That's why you probably support them, yeah.
Tromsø. Yeah, Tromsø.
Yeah, I mean, it's some of these things also it was like this there's been also links to a Inacio's been a link that we've heard now. Bubble back up to the surface as possibly being a talented player that we might go in for. I believe Portugal does have the same rule as Spain when it comes to Brian probably back me up on this or not, but that you have to have release clauses for all the players in the league.
Yeah, something similar. Yeah, similar. They have similar rules there. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not like possibly structured the same way that Spain is, but I think that, yeah. So there is a release clause for him, but Ruben Amorim, the manager of Sporting CP, has admittedly said that everything is possible. That was his quote. He says, Liverpool have been put as being a contender to bring the player in. He's 22 years old now, so I mean, it's like, another talented young player. Does that name basically, is that the big name that makes you go, okay, we've finally gotten a big name across the books? Because apparently that's what everyone wants. If we don't make a big name signing, I think the transfer battle will make everyone depressed and sad that, and think that we're doomed for a possible relegation or something. I guess that's how they act. That's how I see it.
Pedigree. I think some people might say big player. Yeah, big name is definitely the wrong way of looking at it. You go out and get a big name very easy with money. You just bring in some guy with a big reputation. But yeah, we need pedigree. I think something that people can look at and go, oh yeah, he's okay. He is then therefore kind of by definition a big name because he's a top player. And top players become big names, I suppose. But yeah, they're looking at it the wrong way around if they're just going, oh, he's the most famous or he's the most expensive, go and get him. No, but yeah, a guy with pedigree that I think, like what Lee is saying, we don't need another Kwanzaa. We need a guy who was probably at the level sort of maybe like when we brought in Virgil, but a little bit. I know Virgil was only playing for Southampton, but he had Premier League pedigree and, something we can look at. Yeah, it's great to bring in these young prospects, but like you say, if you're bringing in an older player, will he get in the way of a Kwanzaa? Well, bringing in a 21-year-old will definitely get in the way of a Kwanzaa if he plays in the same position. One question I wanted to ask actually is there another one? I know I'm not being greedy here, but I know like we have Kwanzaa, so just take him out of the equation. Like with the Bradley and Dans and Clark, and yet like we have this big or this great crop of players. Is there a centre half in that crop?
Yeah.
Do we have another top like really highly rated? Because I'm hearing a lot about left backs and strikers and Trainioni and these kind of stuff. Is there another guy there? Not that I'm asking to step up. I'm just wondering, have we got someone there? Anybody that's kind of more up on the youth team side of things, like you? That'd be interesting in the cups kind of thing.
I think, do you ever think that maybe, and I think that I know a lot of people don't want to possibly hear that, but I mean, realistically, and that's the name I said. I'm gonna bring up YouTube's question after. I'm gonna bring your question back up. YouTube name.
Nalo. Okay.
That's what I just said earlier. Yeah, Nalo. Okay. He was on the preseason. He was with them during the preseason. He's up there. He's a tall center half that they do apparently like, because I've seen him. He's been on the team sheet even for Klopp as well. It wasn't just for Arnie that he got on the team sheet.
Yeah.
He actually
I know the name, but I didn't know he was a centre half. But I'd seen the name on tweets with big squads and all that. So yeah, you know where I'm going. I'm kind of just interested to see, like, is there, because we haven't really heard about any, have we? It's like we're always here, like we're hearing about the Bradleys and Dans and these attackers and stuff. So it would be nice if all of a sudden another Kwanzaa kind of step forward and it's like, I'm here too.
It would be maybe, and again,
pension from West Ham. Okay. Oh, hang on. I remember. Didn't we get him in the same deal as Neoni? That was the same week, wasn't it? Because both had similar names. Yeah. We only got him last summer. Yeah, I remember it now. That was announced in the same kind of announcement
Same
that like
window.
we.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think like on the same day, or the
Hmm.
same week, and we gotten him, Nalo, and we gotten Neoni.
Hmm.
And Neoni we paid for and him. So it was like apparently they were making a big deal. We'd taken like two of the most highly rated prospects from other academies in this Nalo, and they were bloody right about Neoni by the looks of it.
Right.
We certainly
Would they
got a
have gotten it?
prospect there.
Yeah.
So if
Maybe
Nalo
they got
is
it right for Nalo too.
yeah,
We just haven't had the opportunity
yeah,
to see him just yet because
yeah,
he's sitting because of his age, especially, but he's sitting behind, Gomez, he's sitting behind Nat Phillips, he's, Sepp Vandenberg, all players that we're trying to put in the shop window to kind of
yeah.
sell. We're not trying to put him in the shop window to sell,
No.
So, I mean, that's that's the likely reason why you would see those kind of players at least get those kinds of opportunities of getting playing time when it comes to
Yeah.
the preseason or in games that aren't very like vital games at least. Yeah, I get what you're saying, and I get that could be a case. That could definitely be a case. Are you if we were to sell Gomez, who would you most likely want to see him go to? If you were his agent,
No.
who would you want him to go to? And
Aston
you can
Villa.
look at it from a Liverpool fan too if you want. But
For Joe's happiness, maybe a London club, a lesser London club, so he can be in London. That's the few rumours we're hearing that he wants to go back to London. That if there is any substance in the rumours that he wants out and he never wants out, that's why we're hearing. But then again, that might be bullshit. I've got a suspicion that it might be bullshit that Joe would move to any Premier League team to be a first team regular again at centre half. I just don't know. We don't know until it actually happens, if it happens.
what happened?
Yeah,
So
I think
just
I think
hypothetically
a
speaking,
Champions League club.
I know how much a certain London club likes to purchase players. Chelsea comes across the board and says, "Hey, we'll pick up Gomez. We could use a center back." Oh, you almost don't choke.
They were linked with him. They were linked with him today. Yeah, I think he's. Yeah, you're right, Lee. That this whole London thing that might change very, very quickly if the London offer is Crystal Palace or Fulham, and there's an offer from Aston Villa in the Champions League or some other club in the Champions League, because I think he's good enough to still perform at that level. It's just he's been in and out so much that it's hard for someone to go, oh, he's the guy that I've wanted. I'm building my backline around Joe Gomez. You have to work his way back into that.
If I was Joe, I'd probably pick a team
Villa.
like Newcastle over Palace, if Newcastle were in for him. And then again, Villa themselves are actually in the Champions League.
Yeah, Villa I'd go for.
Yeah.
If you're asking me as his agent.
Newcastle are probably going to be fighting for Champions League or trying to this season, whereas we know clubs like Palace won't be fighting for Champions League.
Yeah, okay, maybe not Champions League, but he should definitely play European football. Yeah. You give me UEFA. You'd say to him like, Joey, you don't be selling yourself short by going to like the likes of Palace or something like that. I don't think he's ready for that yet. But I mean, it looks like just Barney is saying, should we let him go? I'd keep him another season. This is just the way of it, really. Sometimes, isn't it? He's left out of the squad, and the quote is that he said he's happy to consider him. He's happy to go somewhere if we get the price we want and we're prepared to let him go. Then he's happy to negotiate with another club. So, like we were only talking about it last night. He's been here longer than Klopp. So
that's wild, isn't it?
Yeah, if you think
wild.
that he did, if he's probably not that homesick anymore, I'm sure he's probably gotten used to that at this stage. And I just think he shouldn't be. He shouldn't go to too low a level. I think he's definitely worthy of it. Like I'm with the lads. I'd keep him. happily keep him, but it's just rolling with the news. It's more like if you're told he's leaving, then what do you think? It's not really about should he stay or should he go. I think it's just
Mhm.
what
Do
what
you
do we,
think maybe
if he does go?
would you maybe, Brian? Is this just this is like, because I know you like to play Football Manager. Is it maybe you go and say, hey, we value you. We understand that, we're obviously, you're not necessarily the first choice when it comes to some of the positions that you're interested in playing. But if we up your salary, would you want to stay here? Do you think that maybe that could be a way to tempt him, or to? I don't necessarily. I know it's not necessarily all about money for a lot of these players. I don't think Gomez is all about the money like that, but or at least that's not the reason why he's looking to leave.
No.
Is because he's not making the wages or something. But
I think you've answered your own question there. I think he'd say, "Look, I just want to play, and if you're telling me that I'm not part of the plans majorly, then I've had a great run here. I'm 27. I've got 4 years left that I could play every week at a really top club. So we've had a great time together, amazing memories. He's like you say, he's pretty much part of the furniture at the club now. But these things happen in life, and these things happen in football. And I think, unfortunately, people are going to go mad when I say it, but he is valuable. He's someone that we can get a very good price for. And if you're not going to use him, then could you reinvest that money? Like, as long as you do reinvest that money, I know these are the cold hard facts sometimes, but it is a business, and you have an asset there that's worth a lot of money, that is attracting interest. This is just the way it goes. Like, I'm just happy that he gets to go and play at a European level every week, because he's too good not to be playing. Really,
I can see him moving on to Crystal Palace would be a great move. Actually, that'd be a great move for him. I think. Definitely a great move. But is also what's the? I'll go through. We're gonna bring Nalante in too. Big up, Nalante. How you doing?
Yeah, big up, guys, man. All good, man. Hectic week this week, but we move.
Yeah. I definitely wanted to. I'm waiting for one more addition before I get into the main topic of the toxic takes remedies.
Yeah,
but
Nalante, you're not getting paid, right? It's just me and Lee that gets paid. It's just me and Lee that gets paid.
Oh, it's all right. Thanks for that, bro. I didn't know that. Wink, wink. I'll be taking off the top of the stream.
Oh man. I was going to ask the chat. What is the lowest number that you're willing to, if any of a Crystal Palace or a Fulham or something like that comes in and says, we're interested in Gomez. What's the lowest? What's the number that makes you say yes, that's worth our time? We'll go Irishman, Nalante, and then we'll go with Lee because I see Lee's off camera.
Okay. Starts with a 4. Okay. Then you'll talk. Yeah. Anything starting with a 4, you're
okay.
Yeah.
So if I came in and said, if I was Crystal Palace and I said 4.2 million, you'd be like, yeah, look it up.
Yeah.
Not joking.
Yeah.
It's like, I read your email, Brian. I says, Russell 4. I got it.
Yeah, well, you overpaid. I would have settled for 4. You gave me 4.2.
Right. I was just giving you the 0.2 was the tip. That was the tip. Yeah. There you go.
Terms and conditions.
Yeah.
Oh man, Nalante, what's the number that makes you move on Gomez? I see right for license 45 million. Okay.
Yeah, similar to what Brian was gonna say. He's Joe and Bred for Life. Yeah, about 45. Then yeah, just we let him go.
Okay. Lee, what's the number that makes you move for Gomez?
45 million.
Oh, wow. Say the minimum. I guess that's it. Huh?
Yeah. What is that max?
Everyone.
Yeah. He's in the Euro squad as one of England's centre halves, wasn't he? And full-back. Yeah. I don't know if he was actually full-back cover. He was more centre half cover, wasn't he, at the Euros, Joe? So
he's both really, Lee. Yeah.
Okay.
But just what was that guy? That Max.
I don't see how the man could be worth less than 45 million after going to the Euros as one of the recognised defenders for England, and after having a great season where he played 4 different positions. Like, so how could he be worth
that's
less
why
than
I
45
was
million?
interested to hear your number, Lee, and Nolante, and even Brian, and even the chats too. Because I mean, like, I get that he doesn't have the youth of a Euro or the youth of of a Brantwaite, but or he doesn't necessarily but he does. He is English. He obviously gets you the homegrown thing. It gets you also the fact that he has played for the national team. That is his mindset is to continue playing for them. And the fact that he plays 4 different, you could have him play 4 different roles on your team. And it's not like we're talking about like some 30-year-old. Like, he's still in that range of age where he can still have
12 man.
left.
I think we
Who
all
was that
agree.
guy? Max. Sorry, Lee. Just quickly, that guy. What's his name? Max Kilman. He went to West Ham. He was centre half. He cost about 40 million, and he's a couple of years younger than Joe. He's not, maybe 25. He didn't get in the England squad. He came from Wolves. He's good. He's decent. He cost about 40 million.
Yeah, no more than that.
So if he costs 40 million, I mean that's got to be the minimum value of a Joe Gomez.
The minimum,
price.
yes, the minimum, right. But that's why I was wondering, because I mean, like, often I emphasize I don't want to be bargain basement FC. That's why with our players. I'm not saying that your evaluations were bargain basement, but often we hear about this prem tax when it's a player going to another prem team. You have you add a couple extra depending on the team. You might add a couple extra million on top of that. I mean, if you're talking, when Manchester United gets mentioned, it's an extra 5 million or 10 million that you throw on top of whatever the number was by other clubs. So like, it's just very interesting. I just want to hear what's the number.
Unless you're Chelsea and you're stupid and you sell your best players to Man City for 12 million quid or something.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, well, we just want him to clean up the car park and stuff. We don't want to play football. Don't worry. Then he goes and scores the winner against them yesterday. Nice one, Chelsea. But it is also there is a ceiling, and at the same time, when a player is, and it is kind of a bit grotesque to talk about it, but when a player is on the market, that's literally what they are. They're on the market, and the market will decide what he's worth. Like he is worth the highest bid that someone is going to make from this.
Sure, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So you have to pitch him right.
The market pays. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to pitch him right. Can Palace give you 70? No, but Newcastle could give you 60.
Right.
Yeah, it's you don't know. Yeah, it's. I still think most realistically we'll end up going for about 45, maybe. I think that's probably realistic, and I'd be happy with it. I'd be happy in cash, in a lump sum payment, or in a one-off payment that gets reinvested straight away. If it disappears down the back of the sofa, no thanks.
Right. Well, you know what? It goes to tell you. Okay, so we're seeing all these names being put out. These names leave that we're getting money for. We had Bobby Clark leave, and we got 10 million for that. We got the 10 million, around 10 million. I think it was like 9 million for Solanke. We also got the 27 million I think it's around 27 million for Fab. We're also, so I mean that's 10, 20, it's like around 50 million, about 50 million. I'm just rounding up, so it's about 50 million right there. We're also it does look like we might be making another sale on a youth academy player pretty soon here, a name that some of us might be cognitive of or might not.
Hi, Marianne.
Hi, Marion, of course, and hello to Honcho too. Big up to you too as well.
Nice.
But it was Harvey Blair is a name that has started to garner interest, and is a name that's now on the market of being a possible sale. They're looking probably anywhere from 5 to 10 million for him, which is a good bit of change for a youth academy player.
Lionel was better.
Yeah, a little bit. But with that said, could there be just possibly, and I don't want to hear any of the ins or the out people, the FSG and FSG out people or whatever, blah blah blah. But could there possibly be a big name that is on the horizon with this money that we're collecting? Because there's a lot of money that we're starting to see start to build. You know, we had money that we could have spent already. Plus, now with this money that we're making off these sales, what is the name that you would want to do? What you would want to bring in if we did have a enhanced war chest? I know that might trigger some people using that word.
It's hard. There aren't a lot of targets. You know, if you're thinking as an alternative to Zuma Menzi, we're going to pick. So, like, I'm looking at centre half. I'm looking at them hopefully buying a Bastoni or an Ignacio, you know, a left footer that can give us the balance that we crave at centre back and can also play left back, hopefully, in a pinch. But it's primarily a left-footed centre back who were part of Virgil. That's where I'm looking for us to drop a load, drop a chunk of change. You know what I mean? Looking for us to rust a lot in there, like, and you know, find what we want and get it. It might not happen. It might be January. It might be next summer. We just don't know. But I won't. You know, I'll not deny. I won't be pleased if there is no signings. I'll not be pleased, but I'll deal with it. You know what I mean? And I'll wait patiently for January, like a good little boy.
It's likely when you go to the shop and they tell you want those pair of trainers, like, oh, wait till Christmas now. Son, you're going to get it for Christmas. Like, oh, all right, great.
Can we get players on layaway?
We often do. I mean, we got Keita on layaway. We got Naby or Naby on layaway.
$5 a week.
We got Ibu on layaway. We're about to put if we do get that deal for Mamar Dashvili, that'll be on layaway technically.
Great.
Well, we're putting him on layaway. Yeah, sorry about that, Baz. I knew the W word would trigger somebody. As soon as they hear that.
Oh, I know it. I knew it. Yeah. And I saw that for Marion too. I knew that word. I was like, this might be a trigger word. Trigger warning ready.
But yeah, if there is a big guy out there,
Brian, and then I'll ask Delonte the same question. Is there a name though? If it exists
at this stage of the season, you know, you have to kind of be realistic as well and say most teams now have kicked off. They're
with what they want.
Yeah, they're kind of the chances now. It's like the idea of signing a big player. It goes up in degrees of difficulty now all the time, and because the guy has already worn the kit for his club. I mean, harder to get him out. It's stupid to be in this position. I don't think something like that is going to happen now. I really don't. I think it's a January job. They're making positive noises about wanting to bring in the right player if the right player becomes available. I'm struggling to see where it is or what it is, but with the amount of people that are going out the door, they're not first-team players, but one first-team player goes. I mean, the guy has had nothing. We haven't been here in a long time where we kind of were after the Champions League where we basically signed nobody. We signed Sepp Vandenberg, we signed Adrian, I think. Like that was, we may as well have not signed anybody that summer. So we kind of have been here before. But to actually go and start, you know, go on like the day after deadline day and go, no, it's true. Liverpool, they re-signed nobody. Yeah, okay. I mean, it will take a bit of the air out of it. You know, it doesn't have to be the big name, but we're in a bind here. People want to see things happening, and then you tell them we have a war chest, and I'm here. I know I was going to say let's get this over before Pops gets here, because if he hears us talking about bringing in money, he's not going to be happy. But it's true. Like if you sell 100 million quid's worth of players, added to what you will have to spend, in your budget anyway, there should be a big, huge lump of money there to go and do something. But do you just go and spend it because the shop is closing and there's only some few bits of jewelry left? You're going to spend 50 grand on a ring just because, I'm rushing through, I got to buy something. Just give me that. It's we don't want that either. So,
and people know that you have the money. So, I mean,
everything
gets, the number goes up because they think that depending on what it is, that you're looking for, or what people are saying is the I hear you need a DM. Well, we have one. All right, one of those situations. They up the price a little bit. How bad do you want the DM?
And you got to give them the time to find a replacement as well. I mean, if you go and try to take someone's guy in the last day, well, look, we would have sold him to you a week ago if we'd known. We could have got this guy, but I mean, if we sell him tomorrow, we can't buy anybody. We're done. So no.
That's what annoyed me last season. Henderson and Fabinho left really late in the window for Saudi. It was annoyingly late. It was like, it wasn't the players that was annoyed at Saudi clubs. It was like, couldn't you have come in like 2 months ago when the window opened? Why did you wait until the last 40 minutes? And then we had to replace them at the last minute, and just about did by getting Endo in.
Hyler saying he feels that LFC should invest in a challenger at left back. Number 6 role seems sorted with Gravenberch. And we have cover. Well, number 6 is sorted, seems somewhat sorted at for us, in my opinion, too, Hylor. But wait till you hear some of the takes that we're going to get into for the toxic takes remedy we're going to come up with in a few minutes. You wouldn't think that from what you're hearing. And we have cover, though not enough in central defense. That leaves us left back as a weakness. I don't know if it's a weekness.
I disagree.
I mean, like Owen Beck is still a player that could be a possible heir apparent eventually. We also still have Simicast, who I thought, and a lot of people thought, was going to get the start this past weekend. And I think that despite what people say about Robbo, apparently some people, Robbo's hit the cliff apparently and is done and dusted. I still think that there's a serviceable left back in Robbo. I definitely still think that as well. Let's see, what else is there everyone saying? Oh, there is also some talks about I mentioned Mamar. Oh, and also, I'm sorry, before I even get into that, Nolante, did you want to give your I don't even want to say the word, the WC word, but do you want to I'm not trying to trigger anyone anymore. But if you had access to that, or you had the Swiss bank account, that the money's that it's apparently put in. Is there a name out there or someone that you're looking at as saying that's the guy that we go for?
Well, the first thing I do with that bank account, Swiss account, mate, Brian Lee, take a trip, we'll go to Arizona, mate. We can do a live podcast over there. That's the first thing I'll be doing. Yeah. We're going back to Liverpool FC, I tell you, mate. We're going for a holiday, boys. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
So it's the question. You know what? I think similar to Lee and Brad, it's kind of hard. I mean, there's players you can get, but again, it's whether the teams have the cover. And I think I've been looking at new reports, but I don't think that's true about Edison from Atlanta. That's been speeding up the last 2 days, but I don't think we'll get him. So, look, it will be disappointing, but I won't be. The only reason I won't be too disappointed because the squad is already ram-packed. And even with the sales, now if we do sell Gomez, well, I mean, it's looking like if Gomez does go, then I'll be a bit, and we don't do anything, then I'll be fuming because I'm sorry, Seth Vandenberg, who I don't know, Jamrock, who I don't know what he's drinking over there. He's had some Budweiser or put some red wine up and
Uh,
mixing that. I don't know
Sometimes you be
how
doing some toxic takes. That's why. So let's hear it.
that's true,
Let's
but
hear it.
yeah, but how in the blue name can you say Seth Vandenberg's better than Gomez, mate? I don't know what you've been
Oh,
smoking over there, Jamrock. Yeah,
oh,
that is a wild take.
easy. That's
Yeah,
actually
Alright.
insulting. That's insulting.
that's
That's
disrespect, and exactly.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's some disrespect right there.
yeah,
Oh man.
that's like him like seeing my kids and giving my kid a slap in the face. That's the disrespect of the household. But anyway, yeah, exactly, yeah. That is just. I'm sorry. That was just like I'm gonna be nice. I'll be nice about it, but yeah, I'm gonna flip it out, man. You want to do facts and figures? But anyway, sorry, we're going off topic. My
Yeah,
bad.
no. We
I
can say.
digress.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna say
digress.
that's
No,
definitely
yeah.
that'll be a eventual transition into what we're gonna talk about. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Getting back, you got the Swiss bank account. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Well, I mean, listen, it's kind of hard. In the ideal world, I'll get Brian Bastoni. Obviously,
Hey,
Brian Bastoni, but that'd be easy. But it looks like we're not going to get him. If we could, Inacio or I think Red for Life in the comments mentioned what's his name again from Leverkusen, Ikapi. Yeah,
Mhm.
one of the two, or that, or the DM. I've said it for about 2 years now. Kone, mate. Honestly, man, but we're not gonna get him. He's cheap, and he's like he would slot into our midfield, an all round beast. When I know obviously slot one Subi, but Kone, honestly, man, he'll take us up a bit. But that's what I'd want. But I think it looks like we're not gonna happen. And the only thing we're gonna do is do this silly. Oh, we're gonna get the Valencia goalkeeper on loan, Allison, rare, and it's just a bit of flat squid. But the only saving grace this board has is that our squad is very rampacked. So it's not like we do need signings, but we've got a big enough squad to cope for at least till January at least. So yeah,
That's a good transition to an earlier question
yeah,
from YouTube name. His question
yeah.
was, let me bring it up here. I think I started. His question was, what's the optimal number of center backs? We did this kind of question before. I know I got Irishman's answer to this because initially one of the questions I asked, this is earlier in the year, I asked, well, what's the optimal number of players that you want for every position? So like for left back, you want coverage, and you want at least a cover in every position. So you want two left backs, you want two right backs, you want you want definitely four center backs. Normally you do have three normally you do have three goalkeepers, but you at least want two on your that will travel with the club. And obviously that's how you go from 11 to 22 real quick. But you obviously have a little bit of more room to go and pick up a couple other players that can fill other roles in your team. And what are those? What position do you focus on for those players or for those roles?
4 for me with a young kid in the background, like definitely 4. If you're playing 2 at the back, 4 really good centre halves who can all play basically, who can all like actually be good enough to play in the first team. There will be 2 who will obviously be the first choice, and 2 are obviously the second choice. But maybe there's a bit of competition there, healthy competition. And then maybe 1 kid. But any more than that is too many. But I think you need 4, and then someone in the background who, when one of those guys is inevitably suspended or injured, or maybe 2 of them. But yeah, any more than that, it becomes bloated then. But it's hard to keep a streamlined squad, but 4 is probably enough.
Okay. Let's see. Let me read out some of these comments here. Hunter is saying, that's between him and Red for Life about Endo. Bonker saying Fulham have agreed a deal to sign Sanderberg from Burnley. Here we go. The McTominay deal is off as Berg joins on a 20 million plus 5 million fee medical book for the midfielder.
We were linked with him. Do you remember before he went to Burnley?
Yeah, Yeah,
With
when he's at
Burnley.
Sheffield United. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think
still,
he's a
it's like
decent player.
20
exactly.
million. 20
Good,
million.
good signing for Fulham. It makes sense. That's a good signing for Fulham.
Yeah. I mean,
Makes
there's
sense.
another comment about Chelsea here. Chelsea have bought another player today in João Felix.
Yep.
I don't understand. I mean, we can touch on that one because we were going to do prem news around the or news from around the prem today, and it was one of those cases that I saw this story start to circulate, and with the fact that Sterling didn't even get into the match day team sheet, and now they're bringing in João Felix, another forward. What is going to happen to Sterling? What does
Bye-bye.
Really?
Yeah.
If it's bye-bye for Sterling, where does Sterling find himself going?
Europe.
I mean, yeah. Does he come back? I didn't know if I'm kind of trolling a little bit. I was hoping that maybe someone in the chat goes Liverpool or something. Is that your big name that comes home? He comes home. He's like, I want to make good. I'm gonna make good on it. I left you before, baby, but I'm back.
Yeah. Well, to be Sterling, you got lesser contracts. Your Salah's understudy. There you go. Take it or leave it.
Yeah, Marion's like a big no. I'm with you, Marion. I remember when Sterling was at City and those rumors started to circulate that he's open to a return to Liverpool, and I was like, open? That door is locked.
Nah, I don't.
Yeah,
we gone past it. Yeah, and Marnie, and then we got Marnie, who's light years ahead of him. So yeah, he's just
Yeah. But what happens? What happens to him? And let's go Nalante, Irishman, and we'll allow Wade to get his comment in. What happens to Sterling? What's going on with him, man? What's the future hold for Sterling? Or does he just stay at Chelsea and just ride the bench, collect his checks, and just make New Balance commercials?
I thought he's done all right at Chelsea so far. Raheem, he hasn't been too bad at Chelsea. He's performed for them. So I wouldn't see why they'd want to get rid of him, really. But they are buying players. So if you're bringing players in, you're going to have to be shipping players out too, like at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Brian?
What happens to him?
Yeah. What?
Yeah. I think it looks like it's done.
Mm-hmm.
You don't make a play like that with a player like that without basically knowing. And like Lee said, that's a big chunk of money. Don't know how much they get from, but it's a lot of wages. But he's an English player, so they've landed themselves in a position where this is what they're doing. They've landed themselves in a position where they're starting the Victor Bailly guy or whatever his name is. I think he's like 7 senior appearances, 6 or 7 in his whole career, senior appearances, and he's starting over Sterling. I mean, that just tells you all you need to know about what's going on there. It's
Brian,
crazy.
Can I bring a little context into this too for you as well? So, Raheem Sterling is making £325,000 a week, and he has 3 years left on his deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's more than Mo Salah, isn't it? He's on.
Yeah. So it's not like this, Bowley and the crew just like kind of like say, okay, we'll just like eat
that's
up
Saudi money
salary and just and use them at your discretion.
No, that's Saudi money. That's literally Saudi money for some of these. Like Fabinho and Jordan Henderson aren't making that. Even in Saudi, they're not making $320,000 a week.
Yeah,
this is where they are. Like, what are they going to do? What's he going to walk away? Like, what they're doing is they're basically putting him in a position where he wants to walk away from that $320,000 a week. and step one is leaving him out of the squad.
Right.
So that's what you're saying.
Mo was on 300 a week. Didn't know Mo was on 350. I thought Mo was on a flat 300. That's why I thought Sterling 320 was more. So
yeah.
Okay.
I just don't see what Chelsea are doing with bringing in João Felix. That's going to be another player that's going to make at least, 150, 200,000 probably a week or something like that.
Huge wages, and like you pointed out a couple of weeks ago, City have got so many players that are on over 250 grand a week.
Yeah,
like the lion's share of their players are on more than that, I think.
I mean Ben Chilwell's on 200,000 a week.
But like if you put
mad.
Sterling in his right position and you played him every week, he's going to get you more goals and assists than João Felix. João Felix has shown that he could barely get a touch when he came. I like Felix as a player, but he could barely get a touch in the Premier League. And Sterling is one of the best goal scorers in the last 10 years. Look at his numbers. Look at his figures. They're ridiculous. But I mean, just as a goal scorer, he'll do numbers. And they brought in this Felix guy, and they're letting him sit on the bench. That doesn't make any sense. He'll go somewhere, I don't know, maybe a Bayern Munich or something like that. If they sell a Coman and a Musiala, who knows? But he'll go somewhere and he'll put up numbers again because that's what he does. But it's Chelsea, man. I was shocked that he joined there, and I was absolutely shocked that he joined Chelsea in the first place. But then I saw the wages, and I was like,
yeah,
okay.
And he's
London. Now I get it.
The wages and the fact that it's London. It's London.
He's home. Yeah, he's closer to home. Northwest Wembley, so he's nearby.
He's a Wembley boy. Yeah, he's a Wembley boy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it worked, but he's look, I would love to be a fly on the wall in one of their weekly or weekly transfer kind of strategy meetings. Like, is it literally just dartboards all over the place? It's just like
I think
tequila shots.
It's just
tequila
like they
shots
just open up Twitter and they
darts.
try to see who's trending, and they're like, "Oh, we should do it for him then." I think he sounds good.
Someone's got Football Manager open in the corner looking for Wonder Kids, and someone's over there playing FIFA.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to patiently wait for JK or either JK or Quasi, but I don't know if they're going to be able to join us. So we're going to just move on to what the main topic was. What the main topic was for today, and that was also one of the main topics for today, and that was toxic takes remedies. Because look, I love supporting other content creators on the platform that we are on, especially if they are content creators that are Reds. I do my best to support them, subscribe to them. I always look at it too, like, whether, like, for instance, whether you're and this has no party affiliation, but like whether you're red or blue, or whether you're a Republican or Democrat here in America, for instance, you might watch one certain channel, but you still watch the other channels so that you can hear what they're saying on that side of the fence, even though it's not the side of the fence that you find yourself on. So I always do that. I always think it's important to do that because you want to hear what the conversation is. You want to see what it is, even though sometimes the conversations can sound pretty diluted, to say the least. Recently, one of the most notable conversations I heard, this was just after the game. It was a I guess you could say a reaction show on the Football Terrace. Shout out to Terry, who's a Red Devil. All due respect. But he had on the show Tom Little. He had on the show Hassam, and he also had on the show Rams. Now I'm calling out these three individuals. Oh, and he also had on the show Mo, Judge Mo, who is a Inter fan. He's actually the three previous people I mentioned are all Red supporters, allegedly, and Mo is a Inter Milan supporter, and obviously we all know that Terry for the Terrace is a Red Devil supporter. Now, what triggered me was not Tom. Tom definitely was pushing the envelope, certainly pushing the envelope with a lot of his comments and his takes and the likes. But it wasn't until I heard Hassam to the point where I'll admit it, like the first time I started hearing it, I had to like to stop the stream and just not, I didn't even want to continue. That's how bad it was. Because I realized that we had just won a game, won our opener. And again, we just watched a new coach or manager, however you want to reference it, right? We had just watched a new manager score in his first game.
Head coach.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what they call him. That's the name
okay.
on the door. So
yeah. Okay.
Much
Head
to the
coach.
Consternation of the older generation. That's the problem. Oh, you're not even a manager. But yeah, sorry.
Right.
Go
And that's why I'm making sure
Continue.
I said, using all the names just in case someone wants to be, technical.
Yeah.
But in his first game, win 3 points on an away game at a newly appointed team, at a raucous crowd, the whole confines of the small pitch, the crowd is up for the journey. We got a clean sheet. We have our dreaded 12:30 kickoff again. And we got 2 goals and a win. And on this broadcast,
honest for a bit of a banana skin. Like, it wasn't an easy game.
No, it wasn't. It certainly wasn't.
So I think we did well. And
but Lee, one second, because that wasn't the issue. That wasn't the main issue, really, because that's something that you would have thought would have kept people in happy thoughts or in a chipper state of mind.
Mm-hmm.
But again, Tom Little's take was terrible. I get it. It could trigger someone like myself that's very supportive and positive. But when Hassam got on and called, and these are his exact words.
Put the children to bed, by the way. Put the children to bed.
Yeah, you might want to put the children to bed for this because it was disgusting. He got on a huge platform. I mean, Terry's platform reaches a lot of people, not just Reds, a lot of people across the Prem and across other portions of the football world too. He called Lucho a human fecal matter.
Oh, wow.
Those are his exact words.
Why was he angry with Lucho? What did Lucho do to anger Hussam? Did he say?
Mm-hmm.
Existing.
Okay.
Being someone that obviously doesn't fit the bill of what he wants to be for. He said, get him out of his club or our club. I'm going to reference this our club because it's not his club. But our club, he went on to just continue to just use words that I say he would never say to a player's face.
Mm.
And it was so disgusting because you're sitting here, again, on a huge platform, and these people are representing us as Reds, and they're just spitting this vile, disgusting content. And it'll grow. It'll go like a virus amongst us if we're not diligent. That's my point. But go ahead, Lee. I can see you want to say something. So go ahead, Lee. Go ahead, Lee.
There's no good calling players pieces of shit, is it? Like, that's not going to help. And it's not as if he's even been that bad, Lucho. It's not as if he's been been a bad period towards the end of last season. He was literally our best forward towards the end of last season because there was rarely anyone else fit. Only him and Gaspo. He carried us when Mo got injured at AFCON. And because Nunes and Jota were out at exactly the same time, and that went on for months, didn't it? Where we had nobody but Gaspo and Diaz was probably the brighter of the two. You know what I mean? Although Gaspo's done well as well. Diaz was the brightest forward for quite a considerable amount of time last season. So I don't see how he can be a piece of shit.
He didn't use the word piece of shit. He literally said he is human fecal matter.
Fecal matter. Okay.
Oh no, my fault. Not human fecal matter. He is human feces. That's his word. That's the word he used. Feces, which is the same thing as fecal matter.
I know he
Human
doesn't like
feces.
tender to Mo's crown as our best attacker, who Sam like. He's very Mo centric, isn't he? Who Sam?
Yeah.
Don't know.
He said this was his take.
What?
This is how
Well,
poor.
what you said.
and
Quickly,
I'll-
Clef, man,
I'll-
what
I'll
you
allow for
said.
your Irish, right?
No, you
can
should.
add
No,
one
I'm
little
going to
bit
say
more.
what you said. No, what
Oh.
you said, because it went on. I think it went unheard. What you said at the end there was really important. That these things will spread like a virus amongst us if they're unchecked. That's
Yeah.
exactly correct what you said at the end there. That you're exactly right. This is the issue.
That's the issue. I know we've seen this. We've seen this story before. It's called Arsenal. I've seen a club continue to go down this disgusting route of like degrading their own players, their coaches, the heritage, crapping on other people, crapping on their fan base amongst each other and the likes, as if it's acceptable. And it's disgusting because it's not that's not the Liverpool I know, at least. And like he went as far as to say that he thinks that Anthony is a better player than Lucho.
Boy, you need to go to bed.
I'm not making up these words.
Hold on,
If necessary, I'll put the clip. I can put the clip in. It's like a 30-minute clip. It's like 15 minutes.
Well,
the first 15 minutes is of Terry. The last 15 minutes. If you want to watch a horror film, that's what I would suggest tuning into that, because that was an absolute shit show. He literally said that he would rather have Anthony on this team, and he thinks that Anthony is a better player than Lucho.
He probably has different reasons for wanting Anthony on the team. Probably thinks he's better looking.
Yeah, maybe so.
That's a bit. So this Hassan, he's a Liverpool. He's a red, yeah.
He's the one that flew the banner across. He's the one that flew the banner over.
Oh, really? Are you sure he's a Liverpool fan? He don't sound like no Liverpool fan to me.
Oh,
he it wasn't last season. It was a season.
And he wears a badge. He wears a badge of pride.
Oh, it's yes, exactly. It's his thing. It's the best thing he's ever done. It's the thing he's most proud of. It was season before last, wasn't it? It was when we were playing.
Yeah, I remember the banner.
And it was the last banner. It was the last time there was a plane, and it's the FSG out guy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like we spoke about this backstage. Like there's a couple of people in the chat that know my background in YouTube, but not everybody. Most people don't know my background in YouTube, and this is where I came from. Like I was involved with one of those big channels that, when they started off, was very nice and was new, and it was all this and that, and very, very slowly overnight realized that toxicity, lies, and negativity sell way more than good news and just being a decent channel. And I mean, it got to the point where I didn't really care for YouTube for a long time. I walked away from that channel. Some people will say I was kicked off that channel, whatever. I couldn't stand it anymore because I saw what was happening, and I saw it spreading, like you said, like a virus. And I saw other people picking up on it, and I saw other people taking it seriously, knowing that it was all lies, it was all bullshit, and it was all done just to create negativity, to get views, and to make money. And it did, and it still does, and it's doing it right now. So this is my story on YouTube, is hating Liverpool YouTube to the core. Because I saw what it became, and I saw what it should have been. I saw what it started off as, and it was nice, it was okay. And now it became, how negative and toxic can we be to make money? Because that's all and it's mostly depressing. So eventually I ended up on this kind of channel or stuff. But yeah, for a long time I couldn't go near it.
Yeah.
And I've seen it from the inside. I've seen it, one of probably the biggest Liverpool channel outside of England. I've seen it from the inside. I've seen exactly how it works and what it's all about. So this is not new to me. I can see the playbook. I know the guy who wrote the playbook on this shit.
Mm-hmm. And they'll do it on their own channels. The point is, they'll do it on their own channels, and that's one thing. It's freedom of speech. We get that, but they'll also go on these rival channels like the Terrorists or like, you know, Sarcasm City and all these other channels out there. Sarcasm, I don't have a problem with Sarcasm City, or I don't have a problem with Football Terrorists, but I have a problem with the fact that the representation that they bring on those channels it's definitely a reason why they're bringing these people on. We get that they have a following in itself, but if you're going to bring on someone onto a channel, do you think you'd bring it on some enlightened person that's going to be bringing out good points and bringing out, like, you know, your rivals, like better qualities and you know, and basically make you look like an idiot? No, they bring on the clowns.
Yeah.
They literally have a spot that they have in the parking lot, and it's a clown car spot. And out pops these content creators that are like, I'll be your jester. I'll be your
Why are you
punching bag.
inviting me on a Man United channel? This guy must be really cool. Let's all go on a Man United channel and talk about Liverpool. Come on, man.
It's sad, man.
Jesus.
It's so sad. And that's why
Letting
it's
these
one of those things
pathetic
I
little
want to make-
puppet masters pull their strings too. You know, the likes of this guy, Football Terrorists, he's got it out there. he's after kind of nailing this. So he can just sit there. I can imagine. I haven't watched it. I can imagine he just
absolutely
sit
did.
there, say nothing, and let these three Liverpool
He absolutely did,
fans
Brian.
rip the club a new one for him.
That's
he didn't
exactly what
have
he
to
did.
slag us off.
He
How
sat there.
pathetic do you have
Think
to
about
be?
it, Mike,
I mean,
just like this almost. He might as well just been like going like this, because that's what he was. You listen. It went from like it was like the Three Little Bears. It was just like it was like one using a Tom Little crap on our team. Then you listen to Hassam just take a massive bomb on our team, and then Rams comes in and says, you know what? I'm not gonna be as bad as Hassam, but I'll have a take at it. And he does the same. And then you have Mo say, oh, look, I just had, you know, 3 Liverpool fans basically take a kick at their own club. I'll join in on the fun.
Do his dirty work for him. Come on.
Yeah.
I think isn't that what they call cooks? Isn't that what they call being a cook?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know,
they definitely are. So that's why I'm saying you just have to be mindful of. I'm just saying, just be mindful of that. We have to do our best to push against that, because I mean, like, realistically, I don't want that to be a part of our club, a part of the atmosphere, you know, and dialogue that we deal with, because it's just disgusting. So disgusting to hear the talk that you hear on some of the channels. And it's one thing to hear from rivals, expect that. The banter I'm cool with, but not amongst our own fan base. That's sad. That's a sad place to be. And then, you know, I'm sitting there listening to these like terrible. I mean, like, you listen, and then me being someone that I like to get into the tactics and all the other things about it. You're listening to some of the takes that they're taking with that, and it's just it's still overly poor takes and poor tactical analysis and such. And you're just like, these are the people getting on these platforms that have 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 subscribers. You know, it's like it's one of the reasons why I did inspire to start this channel, because I wanted to combat against that. I wanted to bring on people like we have on the panel. I wanted to bring people together like we see in the chat today, and like we've seen in the chat in other days for this channel, that want to be in a community that we can speak. We can possibly have different opinions on players, but we do it like we're family, not like we're like, you know, secret agents, you know, or something, you know, like double agents or something out there, like trying to like bring in chaos and just pure anarchy. It's pretty sad. So that was my little rant there, but it's something that was like, I saw that go down. I'm just like, man, this is bad. I sent the links. I don't think Brian, I know why, because he didn't get the link on Twitter, but like I think I sent the link to Nolante too. If I didn't, I'll send you the link later on, Nolante.
Yeah, so send it later on 12. Yeah. Send it later on.
But like if you hear it, you'll understand why I want to make a point about it. Because like when we go on these, you know, you're going to go on other channels. You're going to go, you know, when we're not live. You're going to go on other channels, out there in the chat. I hope that when you do that, you're mindful of it. You maybe stand up, because it's not easy to stand up and call that out either. Often when you do, like, there's plenty of people that want to not only bat down and beat down our own players, but as soon as you try to stick up for them, stick up for our players, they take their target and they put it on you. Trust me on that, because I've had the target on my back more than once.
You need to be careful with big content creators.
Yeah,
That's the problem. You need to be careful, like when you're not saying, but when people are out there, when they like, if someone has 1 million subscribers and they fall out with someone who has 100,000 subscribers, who's going to win?
Yeah.
It can be very difficult sometimes. That's why you get a lot of people out there who, they won't say what they want to say, but also all of these guys, like, again, they're 3 Liverpool fans who got invited onto some piece of crap Man United fan nonsense channel that does this shit all the time, and they just sat there while this guy just sat there and took in all the money, all the ads, and slagged off our team for a Man United fan in front of a Man United fan. Like, that is debasing yourself as a Liverpool fan. Like, that is the lowest of the low as far as I'm concerned.
That's definition of cuckold.
We sit in a pub. We sit in the corner in the pub as Liverpool fans quietly, and we'll slag off one of our players. But the second a Man United fan walks into the pub, that player is the best player on the planet. Shut the fuck up. You don't sit there and go, oh man, let me tell you how bad our team is. Like, well, the Man United fan said, oh, tell me more. I'm loving it. Yeah. Come on, guys. This is just these guys. He thinks he's this Wissam guy thinks he's a big content creator. He thinks he's big time. He thinks he has big opinions and big noise.
He's content shit. I've watched it.
He's not. It's hate. It's hate filled.
That's
all it is.
Oh, it's rage bait. It's all rage bait. It is all rage bait. For the most part, it's rage bait. There's not really, like, the takes and everything else. A lot of the tactical breakdowns that he attempts to do are just like juvenile, elementary level, and yet, like, it's a lot of just rage bait. And you guys up? Yes, it is 1-0. 31 minutes in. Leicester's already down to the Spurs 1-0. By the way, Pedro Porto was the goal scorer.
Dominating Spurs. Yeah.
Bye Leicester.
Yeah. There was there's I was on I don't know if I can make a whole episode or whole show about this, but
we can make a show out of anything, dude.
Don't
worry.
Exactly. Yeah. Talk fan show. Let's go.
Right. I did. I was going to ask this: Do you think that the gap between the championship and the Premier League is widening or narrowing? Like, do you think that they're keeping pace at least? Do you think that the gap between those championship teams that are trying to get it, they're getting brought back in? Because this is a unique year. I know Leicester's a team that's already been in the Prem. Obviously Southampton's already been in the Prem too. They've been back and forth between the championship level. There are those, like, middle teams somewhat that kind of, like, are borderline being able to stay in the Prem or should stay in the Prem and possibly will be a more of a force in the championship. But do you think that there is a widening gap between the teams? I mean, like, it's something that I thought about because I saw that you think about when you think about relegated teams or teams that are most likely to get relegated, normally it's the teams that just probably came up, To
a degree, yeah. Normally I'd agree. It's a really weird because the championship is completely crazy. It's a completely insane league. Pretty much every team in the championship is spending above 100% of its revenue on wages. It is a league that is permanently insolvent, which means tomorrow, if everybody had to pay their money, they'd go bust. The league is crazy. Parachute payments, the money that's involved. It's a big problem in the championship. The amount of money that some of these clubs have, like the Leicester thing, is a shame on Leicester. They went down with the highest wage bill ever relegated from the Premier League. They went down with the highest squad value ever relegated from the Premier League. Their wage bill when they were relegated was higher than Inter Milan's when they won Serie A, and they got relegated. They kept the majority of that squad together, which was basically a Premier League wage squad in the Championship. So of course they walked it. The show is the Championship is completely crazy. That's why they want to get rid of the parachute payments. I think the quality of the football, I think the teams are getting much closer, but you'll get outliers like Sheffield United who are just so bad it's not even true. I think the gap, if you're asking about, I think the gap is probably closer than ever for some clubs, but then the gap between the top of the Championship and the bottom of the Championship is growing. But the Championship is a really weird, because it is, if you look at it, like I know a fair bit about what's going on in the Championship, and it's an insane league. It's totally insane, money wise and what they do. So, but the quality of the teams that are coming up, they're not as bad as they used to be. I don't think. I definitely don't think. But some of these clubs, like I'm saying, like Bournemouth. Freaking Bournemouth went out the other day and spent 40 million quid on a Brazilian striker. I mean, like Roma couldn't do that, you know. I mean, like this is Bournemouth, for God's sake. And you've got players, clubs coming up from the Championship now can just go out and spend 25, 35 million quid on a player, like Ipswich have done. Like Southampton, not quite, but they can spend 20. It is a strange place, the Championship, and it's great fun as well, by the way, because they don't have VAR. They still don't have it. And when you watch Championship highlights, when someone scores a goal, everyone celebrates, and no one goes, "Oh, hang on, wait a minute." But yeah, it's a good question, though. It's a good question. And
are you saying they can't afford it or something? Is that what it is? Championship can't afford VAR, it's too expensive. So why did they fucking invent it then, VAR, if it's too expensive to implement everywhere? You can't have it in just the top league and not in the others. That's bullshit. That don't make any sense.
Yeah, it's sometimes to do with basic logistics with play, because VAR requires its own cameras, and they're big cameras. Like they're not like pinhole cameras.
Money to buy loads of cameras for Championship.
No, but but literally, it's like basically putting, like in some grounds, putting a camera in would actually require taking out 10 seats or 15 seats.
Well, they really thought this one through, didn't they? When they rushed VAR into existence, they really thought it through.
Yeah.
Blame Thierry Henry.
Oh yeah, I know. Oh, Mr. Henry.
Just a quick one on Burnley, as we're talking about Championship clubs. Do you know who they signed? You know who they just signed?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Have you heard about it?
Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah, I heard.
Big anything prick your ears? 12th man, did you hear about it? Who Burnley signed?
Say one more time.
Did you hear about who Burnley signed? Any interest in signings pricked your ears recently? No. Anyone in the chat know who Burnley signed?
No, I don't know.
If you know, you know. Kind of job. You'll know who we're talking about. If you know, you know.
Yeah, a legend's son.
A legend's son. No.
Yeah. Somewhat. Who was it? Someone or other. Anyway, I did hear. I think
a Brazilian legend's son.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Ronaldinho's son.
Yeah, there you go.
I didn't hear that. No.
There you go.
Yeah. I heard about that. Definitely.
Ronaldinho's son, eh?
So what would he be called? Like Ronaldinho Dino?
Ronaldinho Nino, yeah.
I think it's
Ronaldinho Junior or something.
Yeah.
It's João something, because I know some of the Brazilian names are usually their nicknames, so it's João something, but yeah.
What is it?
Ronaldinho is Ronaldinho Gaucho, which is the coolest name of all time, by the way.
Oh, that's lovely.
Because there's another, Ronaldinho Gaucho is his one, because there's another Ronaldinho. So Ronaldinho is like his double nickname. So that's like, oh, what? Like you're just obviously a brilliant footballer. Your name is Ronaldinho Gaucho. So I don't know what the kid is called, but some Burnley fans are saying, is it a bit of a publicity stunt, or is it actually?
A little bit.
So I don't know. I mean,
yeah, a little bit. There's a reason why he's playing in Burnley, then not. I mean, yeah, I think it's a little bit.
He was a mental one. He ran Algeria. He just had so much skill.
Yeah.
Oh man, those players. Oh, can we please go back to the day when players like that were able to just, Can you imagine him today in a Pep
No, I
Guardiola
do,
team?
I do.
Oh boy.
I'll ask you this then. Since you gave an answer for the championship widening thing, my next question or next topic then would be, who do you think is going to be the most exciting project in the Premier League this year? What club do you think is going to have the most exciting project?
Oh, that's a good question.
Lee, you have an answer, Lee? You look like you're contemplating, or do you want a little more time?
Yeah, I'll say Liverpool. Our project will be the most interesting.
How about apart from Liverpool? Apart from Liverpool.
Apart from Liverpool,
Yeah.
Spurs. Spurs is going to have a good season.
It's a good shout.
Everyone knows I like Spurs. I'll always fess up to liking Spurs from childhood and don't bear them any animosity as a fan base. I never think, oh, Spurs fans, what's. But I do think that of Chelsea and Arsenal fans on the regular.
Mm-hmm.
Fans, not so much.
I'll ask that, and this is questions for the chat too. Apart from Liverpool, I know is interesting for its own reasons for us, obviously. But apart from Liverpool, what project do you think is the most exciting? Well, has the potential to be the most exciting project, and why you think that? Nilante, what's your answer for it? We're getting a couple of different answers in the chat too.
I'm actually, funny enough, I'm between the two teams that played each other this weekend, Villa and West Ham.
Okay.
I'll be between two. With West Ham, they've always been a decent team, but they made some. Well, again, we might have a different take at the end of the season. They made some shrewd signings. Locatelli, he is a good coach. He done well with Wolves, so got experience, and they've got a squad. Obviously, it's going to take them time to gel and see what system. But I'll see if they can get the right system, they could be a force this season. But obviously, it's going to take time with signings and new manager and his style, because Moyes had a certain style. And Villa, man, Villa, man, I'm just interested to see how they do in the Champions League. First time back in, I don't know, I'm sure 20-something years.
Time. Yeah,
long time, even before the Premier. Yeah, so
I think those problems they're going to have the same Newcastle style problems, I think, but. That's why
maybe. Yeah, they could do. But I'll just be interested to see how they do, man. They got Emery's a shrewd coach, made some decent signings, and man, those two I'm very interested. They're going to be very interesting this season.
Okay, Irishman, who's your nominee?
Excuse me. The West Ham one is a really good shout, and everything that Delante said is correct, but all the time is going, yeah, but it's West Ham. They'll just West Ham the shit out of that somehow. But you got the bigger boys. Yeah, I really, as someone like with a kind of a 90s Irish player soft spot for Villa, always like to watch out for what they're doing. And so, yeah, good to see them back in Europe. I'll keep an eye on that. But I'd probably have to pick Ipswich, because you're talking about another club just like Luton that have done back-to-back promotions.
Hyler's with you on that one, yeah.
Yeah, Hyler brought up earlier on. Does it rate special mention that they did back-to-back promotions? It absolutely does. Yeah. To go from League One, there's only two. They're in a group of like 3 or 4 teams maximum that have ever done that. To go from League One to the Championship to the Premier League, and to not look out of place at all yesterday or on Saturday. I didn't think. They didn't look like, oh God, these guys are going to be the whipping boys. I think the days of the whipping boy is kind of gone. And I think they're another show. Like, they spent 25 million quid on that Liam Delap guy, who basically got Jerome Kwanzaa, condolences off the pitch. Because Klopp, Slot said he couldn't handle their number 9. That was the lap. He brought on Ibu to handle the big lad. You know, that's the kind of thing, that's the kind of player they have, having just been promoted. And I think they have an excellent manager who shows that he's got a really solid head on his shoulders because he turned down the Chelsea job. He could have walked. You know, and the lad Greaves that they brought from Hull, really impressive young player.
Yeah.
So I think they actually have a much better shot than Luton did of actually staying up. Like this manager is a really, really good coach.
He's a good coach.
They got a strong team. They're not a joke.
Teams responded to him too.
Yeah, you wait for a couple other clubs like a Leicester and Everton or a Forest to have a bit of a meltdown. Just stay with it, and like Luton nearly did it last season. Okay, clubs got point deductions, but Luton nearly did it. So I'm going to watch them, and I was really, really nervous about it yesterday, and I hope I'm not proved wrong again. But I thought I was talking about Luton last year, and then we went there, and they really kind of, the crowd let them down without getting too deep into it. The crowd was singing the shit that they shouldn't be singing. There was none of that yesterday that I heard of. Now, yeah. There's also the other thing, and I'm going to put to one side, which is that if it was up to me, the fact that they are supported by Ed Sheeran means I would have them liquidated tomorrow, not just relegated. Everything he's responsible for the last 15 years to music, the fact that he supports them makes it real difficult.
Who does he support?
Ipswich. He was there for the first half.
Yeah, then he had to go.
You had to go at half time because you had a concert in freaking Serbia or something. I mean, like, God. I mean, I don't need to be reminded of that. But yeah, they're my project.
Yeah. Some of the answers from the chat were, which is, I thought was a good shout. Bernie said Fulham is her choice. I think Fulham could be a very interesting team this year. Very interesting project, especially since they just had a big acquisition too. Go blank on who they just picked up, but Fulham just brought
Smith Rowe.
Well, they
Sander
brought someone else too.
Sander Berge.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
That's two good players, Sander Berge and Emil Smith Rowe.
Yeah. What are you laughing at, Lee? Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing at Ed Sheeran because
I thought you were laughing at those that sounded
good. Songs, mate. It sounds like
I was like, dang, that's harsh.
And written a song afterwards, like they're awful, aren't they? Songs.
Oh, he was definitely writing something on the plane. Like, like the
maybe he'll come up with a good song for. Maybe he'll come up with a song.
No, he won't come up with a good song. He won't come up with a good.
He'll come up with a song. How about that? All right. Baz says West Ham as well.
Signed a lot of players.
Nigel said Everton. That's an interesting shout. Everton's project is
not this season though. The new ground.
No, next season. Last year, Goodison.
Yeah, that's.
Is it?
Interesting show.
Yeah. Oh man, Goodison, man. If you try to open Goodison tomorrow, in as it is, I mean, you get fined for trying to open it as a football stadium. Like that thing is only allowed to be open because it's already open. You couldn't open a ground like that tomorrow. No
We're
chance.
at halftime too, by the way, people. 1-0 halftime. 1-0 still.
Yeah, not surprised. They've dominated Leicester.
Yeah. And I mean, it is Spurs on the road too, so this would be a big away win for them if they can hold on. But it is Spurs, so we'll see. YouTube name says Chelsea, as I've never seen a double squad before. Chelsea's your most exciting project, do you think, this year?
Nah.
That's a shout. I mean, that's an interesting opinion. Okay.
YouTube name needs to change his name to Todd Bowley.
Yeah.
YouTube. Let's see. Yeah, I know. Bernie says Chelsea are extending their ground to seat their squad. They don't have enough seats. They don't have enough seats to fit their whole team there. That's true. Hyler was with you. Marion said West Ham too. West Ham's a very popular choice so far. Who else?
Yeah,
Who else?
Hyler. He does have a stake in him. He does. Yeah, he bought him.
Yeah. Oh
Or
yeah.
bought into him years ago when they were down in.
Ed Sheeran. Yes.
Yeah,
Bought into-
he
he's one of them.
sponsored. He actually sponsored the shirts when they were down in League One. He
He
sponsored.
didn't just
the
say
shirts.
Ed Sheeran.
No, because he has those stupid fucking album titles where it's all like plus, multiply, minus, and fuck off or whatever it is.
Oh
Like, he
yeah,
had
yeah,
them,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's
So it was
that's
all
what
like
that means.
X.
I got you. Understood.
Yeah,
Understood.
so it
I
was
saw that
plus
as
and
their
minus.
sponsor. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that was. Yeah, so that was him sponsoring him. He probably paid more for the sponsorship, but yeah, just yeah. Oh God,
I've never
you can
known what
hear
any
his songs now.
called, but yeah, one of his songs was on constantly in work a few years ago. It was one of them songs that they just kept playing every day on the radio and it dragged me insane.
It was probably Shape of You. They played
It
that
was,
non-stop
that's
for
it.
10 years.
Shape
Oh,
of You, yeah. Shape of You,
fucking
the words,
song.
dog shit,
God.
mate.
Oh, the words are some of the worst ever committed to. But yes, they are.
Yeah,
They
that
are.
guy
It's
can't write
5-year-old stuff.
It's a fact
5-year-old
that
stuff.
guy can't write lyrics.
No. I mean, he makes Chris Martin look like Oscar Wilde.
Yeah.
Wow, that's rough. So I guess the consensus for possibly the Shape of
Oh,
Blue.
bloody hell.
That's
Jesus,
hilarious.
Marion.
Like,
Here, hang on. Marion just dropping some kind of big, her brother's friend owned
oh yeah.
Ipswich, but sold it, and now it's 5%. Oh,
Wow.
Marion's moving in big circles.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Got the connects. Let us know.
Well, so yeah, maybe your brother's friend.
Forget everything I said about Ed Sheeran. I love him. I love Ed Sheeran. He's brilliant.
Yeah.
Any chance
Well,
of a few tickets?
there's a connection to Ipswich to actually Phoenix, Arizona, and the connection is the owners of Ipswich also own, or some of them are also owners in the Phoenix Rising here in America. So, because some of the owners of Ipswich are American, and they own the team here, or are part owners of the team here. There's a lot of owners. There's a big ownership group. So, I mean, like I always say, even if you own 1% of a company, you're still an owner, just because you don't own
Ipswich before they got relegated last, a long time ago in the early 2000s, and the Football Echo, the Pink Echo, the Football Echo did a relegation special. It copied it out of it. Ipswich, East Anglia newspaper, it was saying, if you thought Liverpool and Everton slipping down the Premier League standings was sad, take a look at this from East Anglia. It's a relegation special, laughing at because Norwich and Ipswich were both in the relegation zone and were both about to be relegated that season. And the Pink Echo did a thing, laughing at it, saying, God, you thought things have got bad here on Merseyside lately, take a look at East Anglia.
Well, real quick, Lee. And then we'll go Lee and Delonte, then we'll end with the Irishman. And please tell me your choices in the chat too, because we're definitely the Live Bird starting to look at the run coming up on the runway here. Or who do you see as being the three teams that get relegated this year? Then who are the most likely to get relegated in your opinion?
Southampton could slip back down. They've got less chance of staying up than Leicester, I think. Leicester's got a better chance of staying up than Southampton.
But just in case, caveat, just so everyone knows, Leicester are almost certainly looking at a minimum 6-point deduction.
Yeah,
they are definitely getting a points deduction this season.
It's Forest in trouble again or something. So
no, they're cool. It's just Leicester broke the rules the year they got relegated with the world's stupidest wage bill. So that needs to be taken into account as well. It could be 9, but the bookies basically, if we go to the bookies, it will be 6 is what they're projecting. So you kind of got to have them on -6 to start with.
Okay. So you have Leicester, and who else do you have, Lee? Southampton.
Forest.
You said Southampton, Leicester, and who else?
Yeah, Nottingham Forest might struggle anyway, because they struggled
third.
last season, just about dug themselves out towards the end. And after the behaviour of their fans, like, I would like to see them relegated and maybe possibly never come back. This pissed me off last
That's
season.
cool. Marion gave a little name drop too. That's cool. No, stop it, Marion. You have a secret. I know you have a secret Swiss bank account somewhere.
Oh yeah.
But his name is
100%.
Marcus Evans. Very interesting. Baz said Everton, Southampton, and Ipswich. Ian says Leicester for him. And Bernie says Forest. And Ian says, yeah, Ipswich and Forest are his choices. Nalante, who are your choices? Who do you think are going to be relegated? Since we're talking about championship teams and the gap. Well, and I saw the private chat, so we'll definitely do an episode on this, because Brian seems to have a war chest of knowledge for the championship teams. So we'll talk about that. But Nalante, who do you see as being the three teams that get relegated?
Ipswich, Leicester, and Forest.
Okay. How about for you, Brian?
Yeah, there's Nolante keeping it lean. I reckon. Yeah, look. Everton are basically a powder keg. Nobody, like the people that were going to buy them.
They're gonna struggle, mate. They're gonna struggle. Feel a bit tight on. Like, feel a bit sorry for them. They own Strout, like.
It's hard to say. I wouldn't like to be an Everton fan now. Like, you just want a bit of stability, and like it looks like now they are. And again, I know everyone jokes about and laughs at them, but if you look at that new stadium and where it's supposed to be, I mean, that is spectacular. I mean, I wouldn't mind that myself. Anything on the water is always cool, and that's a cool looking stadium. But anyway, if shit, like the people that were going to buy him bought into him enough to finance part of that stadium, then had a look at the books and then said, no, actually, we don't want to buy that club. So anything could happen to that. Like, it really could. That's so, but I'll put that to one side and just say they have an okay year. I think Leicester, I think they'll go down. I think Forest will go down, and I think Southampton will. So I think Leicester and Forest will both go down because managerial stuff. I think they'll get rid of Cooper. Nottingham Forest, the owner is crazy. They got away with it a bit last year. And Southampton look the least prepared of the three promoted clubs. And I think Ipswich, because I'm backing Ipswich to do something and stay up. So I'm going to go Forest and Leicester, which will be, sorry, and if you happen to be listening,
Southampton were barely staying in the Premier League season where they the half and huddle like, and everyone was thought they were barely just staying in the league every season.
The added hilarity, Lee, and you'll know this, is that Leicester fans and Nottingham Forest fans absolutely fucking hate each other. They really, really like turn it up to 100, hate each other. So for both of them to get relegated in the same season would be hilarious for fans of other clubs, because they won't be able to say anything about it to each other, and they really do go at each other. And both of them has been, again, and I love you, mate, if you just happen to be listening, but some of the stuff your fans sing against us, it sticks in the craw. Same with those Forest fans. So I wouldn't be at all surprised, because they will get that deduction. They definitely will. And that might be the tipping point.
Well, okay. So it looks like the consensus pretty much is
Leicester definitely. Leicester definitely got everybody.
Consensus.
Southampton definitely consensus.
Maybe.
Yeah, definitely Southampton. Yeah.
That was probably like the number 2 on the list. And then
then it's a mix and match, I think.
Yeah, the third was a mix and match. Interesting. Very interesting. I was wondering because like a lot of times, like whenever someone says, the teams that get promoted are usually not usually, but most likely 2, if not all 3 of the teams will probably be the most likely to go right back down. But yeah, it's an interesting interesting year that we have. Ipswich is a team I do see them being like the Luton from last year, but I think they will have a little bit more success. I believe. I think they'll have a little bit more success.
They looked a reasonable outfit against us. Like, they kept us at bay for long enough.
They've got Man City next. So,
Oh.
they've gotten 2 of the tough ones out of the road earlier on. You can at least
Sometimes
say that.
best that for teams, get that out of the way, get a couple of items, and then get on with your season. Like against you compete.
We complain about our fixtures, but imagine that as a promoted club. Oh, first 2 games, Liverpool and Man City offer. Thanks, lads. Thanks very much.
Welcome to the big time, boys.
Healer has Leicester, Southampton. Yeah, Man City. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me get this straight. Yeah, we're coming up on the runway here, people. 3 teams: Leicester, Southampton, and Man City would be fantastic. That would be fantastic.
But with the promoted teams, I think what it is a lot of them, because of the way Pep's, well, not Lucian has just revolutionized in terms of the way he's played. So everyone's taking the copybook, and we all want to do that, but there's only so much you can do that. And with the promoted teams, they have to mix it up.
Yeah.
They can't do the nicey. If they do that, it'll just be straight down. So they have to be smart with it. But for Ipswich, I get it, but you can't do that against the top teams or top 6 or 7. But against the Foresters, Bournemouth more near the end, then but against they have to mix it up. They really do, because doing that's just suicide.
Yeah, very much so. It is suicide to see. But
I said it last season. Yeah, no, there's only twice in my life where I've been like massively, totally right about something in football, like in a kind of a big overarching way. And the year we won the league, after about a week, I was saying to somebody that by the end of September, October, we're going to be about 10 or 12 points ahead, and nobody will have realized it's happening. And by the time it's happening, it'll be too late for anyone to catch up. And that's pretty much exactly what happened. We were 10 points ahead of Man City before the clocks even went back, because the way that team was lining up and the way they were playing, I said, this is what's going to happen this season. We're going to win this league, and we're going to win it by being 10 or 12 ahead. And that's how it panned out. I don't know why. The second thing I was right about was I said that Company was going to come up with Burnley. He was going to play a brand of football that was in no way compatible with staying in the Premier League, but it was all 100% designed to showcase his managerial style to other clubs. And he would basically get them relegated and get a big job off the back of it, because he didn't give a fuck what happened to Burnley. He just wanted to show other clubs that this is how I play football, and they would go down because fans were screaming at him, and he would end up. I didn't think Bayern Munich big, but he would get, and that's exactly what happened. It was no, he sold Burnley down to Liverpool last season. Gave him no chance of staying up. Gave them no chance whatsoever, just to show that I play nice football.
Big up KB, by the way. Quasi Bold in the house.
Bold.
Nice one. Big up, Quasi.
The general.
The general.
Big up.
Wagwan. Oh man, yeah. The link will hopefully Quasi will be able to join us tomorrow for a full show. I know that's on me because apparently I guess the link didn't work or something. I don't know why. It's primary because I don't have WhatsApp on my I have WhatsApp on my new phone, but I don't have it linked to my computer. So sometimes getting the links out is I can send them on through Twitter, but I can't send them accurately sometimes through.
That's Apple, man. If you're going to go Apple, you have to go full Apple. They will.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Come back to Android.
Yeah, I know. Android's like, come back.
Yeah.
Stick to Apple.
Yeah, right.
We're gonna have a debate on this now. It's Android against Apple now. Change the subject.
Hey, Quasi, real quick before we get landed and set on the runway here. Who are your 3 teams that you see getting relegated this year? Who are the 3 teams?
Brother. I mean, the easiest ones are always the first three that came up.
Right.
But what was that team? Brentford. I'm kind of worried for Brentford a little.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't expect Brentford to be in the
Because
mix.
Tony's gonna leave. Tony's going to the Arabs.
Oh, he's
League.
gone. He's gone.
And in Bueno.
Don't forget, Quasi.
Yes,
Don't
sir.
forget. Leicester are going to get a points deduction, at
Oh,
least 6. So don't forget that. Just factor that in when you're.
So if they keep playing like today, they're gonna stay. They're gonna be on. At least going to be stuck at 0. So if they keep playing like they're playing right now, you know, whatever that is on top of that. So all right. So you got Brentford, and who else you got?
Sorry about that. Sorry about
Oh,
that.
no worries.
James.
No worries.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's why I said the three are always the three that first came up.
Yeah.
But it's Ipswich. They're impressing me.
A lot of people like Ipswich, like the coach, like the players, like
yes,
I have
the
atmosphere.
players. Yeah. So for sure, like Brian's saying, Leicester and Southampton.
Okay.
But Brentford, Ipswich, Fulham, and
Fulham.
Everton. And Everton gonna have a dogfight for the last 3.
Well, I have Ipswich staying up, so
Okay.
I hope so. Fulham, really, with all that money they're spending, they got the Magic Sander Burge tonight. The Magic Man.
They do. Full America.
They got that Robinson.
Yeah.
No, Fulham is always this. It's like their players not taking it too seriously or something. To ball out and like watch how they played against Man U.
If they had a goal
gotten-
scorer,
Yeah.
Exactly.
If they had a Mitrovic would guarantee them like 12 to 16, 18 goals.
Yeah.
He would.
Then because they work hard, right? They run, but then it's like simple pass, just pass the ball, and then their defender. There's one of their center backs that I was like, I don't trust him at all. I forgot his name. He makes mistakes constantly.
Fulham centre half.
Fulham center half.
Yeah, center back. Yeah, he has the braids, the long braids. Big guy. He's solid.
Long braids.
I know the guy you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. He's
what? Not Diop.
Yeah.
No.
Centre back. With braids. Are you sure? Cause
They had Bassi. That's it.
Oh, Bassi, you mean? Oh, right. Oh, Bassi, yeah, the Nigerian international. Okay,
Because they had Tosin last year. They had Tosin that went to Chelsea.
Yeah.
He's gone now.
Tosin, yeah.
That's the thing. It's like he's solid if he's doing one-on-one defending, but when the space open up, it's like, bro, simple
He's
pass.
lost.
He's lost,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, he's like a lost child.
So that's my thing with Fulham. It's like they'll give you one season, they'll be amazing. The next season,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? So I think give me 5 more games and then I'll give you guarantees.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I trust me. I keep receipts. So
No, even 5 more. Give me 5 more.
So we will be there. We will be
Give
there.
me 4 more.
Yeah.
The thing with Leicester also is their coach is good in the championship, but when it comes to the league, he's always struggling. He's been there for years. He was at Nottingham Forest, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Then what happened to him?
Oh yeah. He's one of the. I think he was one of the. For you're talking about Leicester's coach,
Cooper. He won the under 17.
He was one of the.
He was
I
a
think
Liverpool coach.
Was he your pick? Was he your pick to get sacked first, Irishman? We did a first to get sacked show.
Yeah, my first pick is Nuno, the Forest coach, because
that's who he replaced.
Crazy. Yeah, because he replaced Steve Cooper. But Quasi, it's like I was just talking about earlier on. Like Leicester and Nottingham Forest hate each other.
Oh,
just insanely. So the fact that they took a coach who just got sacked by Nottingham Forest and made the new Leicester manager after they lost their golden boy Maresca, who they thought was going to bring him to the promised land, he was the new Pep. And he buggers off to Chelsea, and they get left with a sacked Nottingham Forest coach.
Yeah,
that is not a good way to start.
exactly.
I
That
like
is not a good way to start.
It's a nice bloke, Cooper. As is Nuno, actually. I like Nuno as a man, but I hope both teams struggle like mad
Brian.
this season.
Todd Bowley might fire his coach before everybody. Chelsea is not looking good.
He's in my 3, definitely. He's in my top 3.
I'm sorry, yeah, he's doing whatever they want, but it's just lip service for me. They got a whole bunch of players, and there's still no plan to what they're playing. Yesterday was just a training exercise for City. City needed to run. It seems like they haven't run in a while, and that's all they needed. I didn't see any pattern of play different from.
They got
from what's his name? Did you see anything different from Pochettino?
No. Look,
he
he could be the next Potter. No problem. No problem. Another 6 months. They got turned down by everybody. They go to this guy. He walks away from Leicester. He obviously doesn't have a lot of loyalty. He's quick to move. The players won't know he is, and that's in modern day football. The players actually having a bit of respect for the coach. It still does go a long way. So it's another dumpster fire, man. It's just waiting for someone to throw a match in, really, isn't it? That's all that's waiting to happen.
Yeah, but Everton, I think Everton is going to struggle big time, and they expect to be deduct points again. So
could go all wrong, all kinds of ways there.
Yeah, I just answered real quick because we're gonna end up.
12 man, so are you still alive?
Yeah, we're still live.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, my apologies. I thought you guys were.
Yeah, not yet. No, I always say when we're clear. Yeah, I was just gonna say real quick. Ian was talking about our schedule, how we have Brentford at home, and then we have United away. I think that I actually do like it. I actually don't mind that. I think that United don't look settled at all. They still look like they're trying to find what exactly is going to be their form and everything else. And while they work that out, fine, cool. Especially that we have to go to Old Trafford as opposed to have them just obviously lose most likely at Anfield, which they do a lot. They often do, but yeah, I don't mind the fact that we have Brentford at home. That's cool. We'll get the home win hopefully, and then to follow that up with a trip to Old Trafford, or as I like to say, Old Toilet, and then just yeah, exactly, Brandon's Old Toilet, and just get that out of the way. Like get some of these games that we had that kind of tripped us up towards the end of the season last year. Get them in our wake early so that we can kind of like move on. You wanted to say something, Lee? I see you.
Have they made any concrete plans to do up Old Toilet and make it a slightly shiny and new toilet like?
They want to move, dude. Did you not hear about?
Yeah, they want to make 100,000 seats.
Yeah. He wants to build a new stadium. He's put it up to basically the vote where Ratcliffe.
Oh yeah,
he's prepared to spend.
To pay for it, right?
Yeah. He wants the Queen to pay, he wants not the Queen. Yeah, he wants all the people in the street to make it the Wembley of the North. He's trying to sell it to him. I mean, come on, get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah.
You want it, you pay for it.
It's been hilarious, hasn't it? The whole leaking roof thing. I mean, it's a minor issue, but it is ritually comedic, isn't it? Like the whole leaking roof scenario. Because I remember when Old Trafford was new, mate, in the early Premier League, when it was new and it was beautiful, and they were so vocal about it, and how shit Anfield was in comparison. Now I can laugh because theirs looks old and tired now, and ours looks better and refreshed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pops is agreeing with you, Brian. He's saying that's agreed that that's crazy opening 2 fixtures.
What for Ipswich?
Oh yeah.
He must be watching back. Like Pops is like coming back to the future from the past or something. Yeah.
Oh, I got you. Maybe
Like-
he's maybe he's catching up on some of the stuff that we were saying earlier. I got you.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna
just quickly,
yeah.
just to Lee, because he was asking, he's putting it up to tender. They either want to redevelop Old Trafford into a 100,000 seater, or build a brand new stadium. And his preference, he's put it on record. His preference, Ratcliffe, is to build a brand new stadium, and he's trying to make it the Wembley of the North, and he'll probably. Yeah.
In London.
100,000. He wants 100,000 seater Old Trafford.
Yeah.
So
They're just all about numbers.
They're all
it's
about
just like,
numbers.
let's build
Yeah.
the biggest stadium, and that make us the biggest and
Brian,
bestest club. Yeah.
Brian, let's
Yeah.
just bust their bubble real quick.
Yeah.
Ratcliffe has no say on any stadium they build. He is just in charge of the players. That's it.
Mm.
The stadium staff comes from them. Americans.
Yeah. But he's doing the big mouth PR
He
stuff.
just do the big
He's the
mouth
one.
PR
Yeah,
stuff.
he's coming out and saying stuff in the
He's-
media, going, "I want this."
He has
and
no kind
yeah.
of cash. The fact
Yeah.
that we came in and tell people, "Oh, let the taxpayer pay it," right there, they should have sacked him.
Ian's in the future. I didn't see it yet. Thank you, Ian, for telling me to keep my eye on it. And he's right. Vardy just knotted this up. I told you guys this is Spurs we're talking about. So 1-1.
Bro,
Jamie Bloody Vardy.
Jamie
What is he,
Vardy.
38?
I think he's looking for a
37?
Red Bull and a cigarette right now.
He deserves one. He deserves one. Scoring goals in the Premier League at his age, man. He deserves one.
Spurs told us that they're going to win the league because they have signed Solanke.
Can you imagine that being your? Oh my God.
I
Yeah.
promise you, I'm not lying.
Jesus.
I'm not lying. If
Yeah.
you guys go
Average.
to my, shameless plug, if you go to the last show I did with 12 men, there's a comment there. The person who heard me say that says who said it. I didn't mention any name, but somebody knew who said it, and they put it in my comments. So go to Crazy Bowl TV. The last show
Yes,
that
someone
I
put the
did.
link in the chat. If there's a mod, put the
Please,
link in the
if there's
chat.
a mod in the chat,
I'm
please do for
telling you,
Quasi Bolts.
This man said,
Well, he might be offsides.
See, here we go. 5 minutes later.
Is he offside?
He might
Taking the
be.
joy out of it. Taking
Missed
the
it.
joy out of it.
Is he offside?
I haven't seen Man United's winning goal was as sporty as it sounded. Was as big a fluke as it sounded.
To be honest, Lee, it's a decent finish. To be fair, it's a decent finish. It's just a cross in the box. He directs it into the corner.
"Oh, you gave it."
So, okay.
That's okay.
It stands.
An actual goal, a good goal. I hate it when our rivals win via a deflection
Yeah.
or a debatable penalty. I can handle
It's
it.
horrible.
Oh god, yeah. What was horrible last season, which was the most annoying things about last season, is not beating those scumbags in 3 games. Oh my, that was embarrassing. 3 games.
By the way, with that goal, Vardy now moves from 3rd place to 2nd place.
Is it given?
He has 8 goals in opening
good.
games. 8 games of opening goal games. Goals in
Fair
opening
play.
season.
Fair
Opening
play,
games.
Jamie.
Yep. Big up. So we're gonna get a really good show for you tomorrow. Hopefully Quasi can be a part of the show tomorrow. I'll be sure to get him the link through via X this time to make sure that it definitely goes through.
For the Brentford game, what time's that kicking off? The Brentford game?
Probably
Brentford
5:30.
game.
It's on Sunday.
Sunday,
Oh,
god, yeah.
Sunday 4 o'clock probably. So
Yeah, it's at
4:30.
6 a.m. our time, so I don't know what time that would be for you guys.
4:30 on
I quite like that it's on a Sunday and it's at tea time. I like tea time matches. Tea time is the British people is like
Blessed Nigel, many thanks. See you, Nigel.
5 p.m.
time, 6 o'clock, say. You know what I mean? I like
Okay,
tea time kickoffs. They're a good one.
Well,
You got to
I
go
know.
to tea time kickoffs. You know what I mean? There's time for people to like get pumped up and that, which there isn't at 12:30. So I'm glad about that. We can have a decent atmosphere. I'm hoping for Slot's first game and would expect that. I'd be pissed off if they didn't show up in force like that. our fans.
I thought you said, for some reason, I thought you said Bournemouth. But you mean Brentford? Yeah, it's 8:30 kickoff for us. So it's like,
Yeah, it's 4:30.
yeah,
4:30.
Oh, okay.
yeah. That's still a morning kickoff. But at least 8:30 means that they'll be serving adult beverages. So how about
Malcolm
that?
Mahal.
There you go. Nothing like an adult beverage in the morning. I'll show you that. That's when you
Gotta
gotta
Irish up that coffee sometimes. You gotta Irish up that coffee.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta like take different looks at life from that point when you're drinking in the morning. But all good.
Just set your watch to
Oh,
Irish time,
it's
and away you go.
12 o'clock somewhere. That's how I see it. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
But big up to everyone joining us. Big up to Quasi that joined us late. But
Thanks, Quasi, man.
that's all my
Yes,
bad.
Quasi.
Big up to you
Blessings.
guys, man. I wish I'd
Um,
come in earlier.
Yeah. I wish so too. I definitely wish so too. Well, that's why I want to get you on the show tomorrow. You can definitely have your say on some of the topics that we spoke on today. Big up to Nalante, big up to the Irishman, and big up to Lee for joining us. And big up to you in the audience. Definitely, Mighty Rice Army is always undefeated and always undisputed. Yeah, big up to everyone out there. You guys really make this a great community, and I'm very proud to call you guys and ladies my brethren. So
nice positive chat, hasn't it? We've had a nice positive chat, like not too much negativity, is there, like, from us? And there's too much chat, as we were saying, on other channels. So I want a bit of positivity. We've had a good start, and
apart from the human fecal matter thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still going to be sure about the no transfer thing until the window shuts. You know what I mean? But I'll deal with it, as I said, like, and we can definitely move forward with what we've got. There's no way we can't beat Brentford and United.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Wait,
the Jacksons?
Yeah, I know. You saw that too? I'm sorry. Hey.
Really?
The Jacksons, really?
Oh, man, that's a night
I wonder
out.
who's going to play. Yeah. That'll be interesting. What a weekend for sure.
How many are still in? I don't know. I'm pretty sure Michael's unavailable, but I mean,
right. But I mean, like,
unavailable.
but
I mean,
no, maybe Janet sings this.
Tito, what we've got? Tito, we've got Jana. There's the other guy. Who's the other guy?
Jermaine.
Yeah.
Yeah. My sister. Randy Jackson. Yes.
You guys have missed him the joke that Brian did. He said, obviously, Michael will not be available.
No, I know.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
You never know with science today, medical.
Jesus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe they do what
hologram.
They did a
hologram stuff.
They had Tupac
or
something like that. They brought
those hologram tours, lads. Those hologram tours. They are. I think ABBA kind of did the first. Like, it's weird. That's really
isn't it?
Weird, man.
Yeah.
One of the best gigs she ever went to was Ike and Tina Turner in the late 60s when she was a teenager.
Oh,
good lord.
Oh, okay.
Went to see Ike and Tina Turner, and she said it was sensational. It was the best gig she'd been to.
I don't doubt that at all. I do not doubt that at all.
You were in the pump then, Ike and Tina, in the late 60s. They were at a peak, brilliance, weren't they?
Yeah, she only bought back the name Tina Turner from him in the 90s. He even owned her name. That's not her name. They were back then. They were married. Yeah, that's peak. That's peak stuff, man.
He was a very good musician, like everyone knows. He could be a nasty man.
Marlon Jackson. That's one.
Marlon Jackson.
Okay, we missed Marlon. Okay. I think he's a son, though, right? He's a son or a nephew. He's not a.
He's not the brother.
Maybe Blanket will be there, and
and hold on. Was it Blanket? Was it Blanket? What's the other names? I forgot now. Yeah. Blanket, tablecloth and tablecloth. Oh my God, yeah.
I think it was
maybe
Prince. I think it was Prince. I want to say Prince.
Prince, that's it. Yes, Prince is one.
Prince is the girl.
Prince
is the girl.
Oh, Prince is the girl. Yeah. Which is interesting.
I don't know.
It's cool that he named her that he named someone Prince, because I remember Michael Jackson and Prince had a little bit of a rivalry early on.
There's a night out.
In the 80s, late 70s.
Good night, Marianne. God bless Marianne.
Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night to
Big
all
up,
our
man.
Reds Queens
I'm
out
better
there,
than. Yeah.
and definitely good night to all our Reds in general. Before we get
No.
too
Okay, sorry.
sidetracked.
Apparently, Marlon is an original. Sorry, yeah. Apparently, Marlon is an original.
Yeah,
Ian
he's
is,
original.
Ian's all over. Ian's all over.
I think it's Marlon, Tito, Randy,
Marlon,
Jermaine.
I need to
Michael.
check this.
That's what it is. Marlon, Randy, Tito, Jermaine, and Michael were the 5 originals. Of
Oh,
Jackson
that's
5.
awesome.
And then I think also even I don't think Janet sang with the what's the
No,
older
she was never in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Janet
No,
was-
but there was
Yes.
the older sister sometimes would try to
Latoya.
Latoya would try to like
yes.
you know, get involved as well every once in a while.
Oh yeah, she's small potatoes, but there you go.
Yeah, she's a little bit of a
Wild
interesting
one. Yeah.
interesting bag of whatever. Anyway, definitely big up to everyone joining us. Definitely see you guys tomorrow. It'll be the same time, same place. Hopefully it'll be the same faces as well. And yeah, until tomorrow, I will say up the Reds, people, up the Reds.
Big
All
up.
right, we'll see you guys soon.
Take it easy.